how pile works. So the way pile works is actually shown using this diagram here. So generally we have the load coming from the superstructure. This example is showing a column. Sometimes it can be a piers from bridge, or it can be any loads coming on the pile. So this load is first of all received by the pile cap. So this pile cap is actually serving four purposes. Pile cap is very important. Pile cap is just a base where the superstructure is received and the load is also received before being transferring that load to the pile itself. Then the pile cap is just like something that holds the piles together. So then after the pile cap, you now have the pile itself. So what are the purposes in which a simple pile cap can serve? So I've listed them here. One of them is to receive the load from the superstructure. So the pile cap will serve as a receiver. So it receives the load from either the column or the piers in terms of bridges. Then after receiving the load, it now distributes these loads to the piles. This purpose is very important because practically it is understood that loadings on pile are not evenly distributed, like completely 100%. It cannot be 100% evenly distributed. What we are trying to say is, let's say you have a superstructure load of 1000 kilonewton and they are supposed to be supported by four piles. But what you think is that all the piles are just going to be having 250 kilonewton each to support that load. But in practice, that this is not actually what happened. Some piles can have slightly higher loads compared to other piles. So that is the reason why the pile cap is important. When your pile cap is properly done the way it should, then your load will be as even as possible. So that is why we said one of the purpose of the pie cap is to evenly distribute loads from the superstructure to the pile itself. And then another purpose of the pie cap is to prevent uneven settlement. And then once it prevents uneven settlement, then the structure will be structurally stable. So the purpose of the pie cap is to receive loads, just as a recap, to distribute this load as even as possible, and then to prevent settlement, and then to provide structural stability.